Hey, vinyl community, Jeff here. Just wanted to share this. I went out over the weekend and went to a antique store type. Not really. So there were a couple of albums I wanted there, but I didn't really want to pay that much for them. But then I found one, and I'm like, okay. And I was drawn to it, and I looked at it, and then I'm like, the Jesus Sound Explosion. Now, okay, whatever. If you're not into Christian music or whatever. But here's the thing, okay, so it was only $5. It was in pretty decent shape. This is not a tear or anything. This is just a design. So it's actually in pretty good shape. It's got dings and stuff. It's 1972. Recorded live, 1972. And I'm thinking, okay, well, right here on the cover, we got Billy Graham and Johnny Cash. Okay. And then we got some of the other bands, 1972. Then I flipped it over, and I'm like, okay, well, there's Larry Norman. I'm a big Larry Norman fan, so that's cool. I didn't really recognize many of the others. Johnny Cash, Larry Norman. So I'm looking at the set list, okay. Starts off with Johnny Cash and some other bands. I've heard of Randy Matthews and Andre Crouch. And then some other gospel and, I guess, love song. And anyway, but the thing that struck me about this, aside from it being a piece of history from 1972, first off, okay, so it's got Larry Norman on it. Now, Larry Norman's with Sweet Song of Salvation. Now, that's from his first album, which came out in 1969. His first, solo album. He's done music prior to that. But this album was recorded in the summer of 72. His second album came out in November of 72. His second studio album. He had some bootlegs and live stuff between the 69 and 72 time frame. But 69 was his first album, 72. So this would have been before his second album, which really was kind of the one that started to put him on the map with songs that, are still staples to this day when it comes to the Larry Norman catalog. His first album, which I absolutely love it from start to finish. I don't know if a lot of those songs necessarily carried on. You don't hear them as much because he had so many other popular songs. But so this album would have been a young Larry Norman as far as a Christian artist at the time. Now, that's cool. I really wanted it just for that. It sounds phenomenal. I've listened to it already. The quality, the recording quality sounds phenomenal. It's got some gospel acts. It's got some, the rock acts of the day. So overall, great. Johnny Cash song was really cool. And anyway, it's got Johnny Cash. I see men as trees walking. Anyway, I was thinking it was going to be rough on the inside, but I was like, wow, it is like, very good plus. $5, I grabbed it. So mainly because of the Larry Norman and the Johnny Cash. But then I also noticed, I'm like, what is this? And so have you ever seen one of these before? I am not familiar with it. So look at the back of that. It's got a rip strip right here. And it's got a mailing label here. This was mailed in the mail like this. It's got the stamp and everything. This went out to, I can't see the name as much, but they're in New York. Mrs. Phelps in New York. This album was mailed as is. Throw a label on there. It's got the postage paid. Throw it in the mail. Can you imagine how much we fuss and complain about Amazon putting it in bubble wrap? And this was just done in there. Now, it makes you wonder, this big crease right here. You might could see it. Big crease there. Is that from the mail or is that just from handling? I don't know. It was just funny. I'm like, wow. They literally threw it in there and it was already sealed and you just get it and you rip the seal down, which they left most of that on here. It's still on here. Look at that. The rip strip is still there. They basically just popped it off. Or maybe there was a second one there, it looks like. Very unique. I've never seen an album that was built like this to be thrown in the mail. Have you? Maybe you have. Maybe this is just me being not aware of any of these things. Now, I looked up this album, of course, on Discogs. This is it. This is the only release. It's never been reissued. There's no cassettes. There's never been a CD. This is it. Campus Crusaders. Campus Crusade was an organization, Campus Crusade for Christ. Big organization back in the day. This was strictly given as a TV offer for their followers to document this event. It was, never commercially released to anyone else. It was never for sale, strictly sent to the mail to their donors and people like that. So you can still find copies on Discogs everywhere from, beat up copies for a couple dollars to near mint condition copies for $30. So it's never been for sale. It's never been reissued. It's a one-time thing. It was really unique in that it was sent through the mail. I just had to get it. Anyway, have you ever seen one like that? Where it was just made to be thrown in the mail? I mean, maybe that was the way it was done in the 70s. Can you imagine in this day and age? Anyway, I thought it was cool. It was unique. Anyway, I just wanted to share that. That was kind of funny. I wanted to see if anybody else had ever seen an album like that from back in the day where they just, throw it right in the mail. But I'll be back with some more stuff. But thanks a lot. Just want to share. Rock on and rock hard.